The first episode of Neil Gaiman's The Sandman is up now on Netflix. I say the first episode, they dropped the whole series today, which I did not realise. But I have been so excited for this series. Everything we've seen looks incredible. I've heard very, very good things. I'm still a little bit nervous because of how much I love that series, but it seems like they've done a really, really good job. And I've heard it's very, very faithful, almost a recreation, apart from a few different timeline things like that. But I'm so excited to dive into it. So I'm going to watch this first episode now. It is called Sleep of the Just. One thing I love is that when you click on it on Netflix, it obviously tells you the cast, it tells you the genre, and then it just says this program is dark. So let's see what we're getting ourselves in for and watch the very first episode of Neil Gaiman's The Sandman on Netflix now that it is finally here. Let me just move some things around and we'll get going. So, I just finished watching the first episode of The Sandman on Netflix. Sleep of the Just is the name of the first episode. It is actually the joint longest episode in the series with episodes 4 and 5. But there is a bit of a kind of trailer for the rest of the season at the end and, some credits and stuff like that. So, probably more like 50 minutes in total, maybe a little bit less. And there's nothing really that I can spoil because it's only the first episode and it's setting up our story, which, if you're familiar with the story of the Sandman, is how he gets captured by Roderick Burgess and how he eventually escapes. And then the rest of the series is kind of him repairing the damage that was done in him being captured for so long. My initial thoughts, first of all, there's been a lot of talk about how much they've spent on every episode, and you can definitely tell. I mean, we haven't even got... You only really get a little bit of the dreaming in this one. A very, very small bit. Most of it happens... most of the episode takes place in the home of Roderick Burgess. So, it's a very nice set and, all of that stuff. But, nothing too crazy. If you can hear that noise, by the way, that's my laptop because it's been recording for so long so that I could do the time-lapse. The casting seems phenomenal so far. Obviously, Charles Dance as Roderick Burgess was always going to be incredible. But you get a couple of scenes of Boyd Holbrook's The Corinthian, which I am very happy that they've brought in early so that he kind of is the overall villain of the series, at least for this first series. And Tom Sturridge. I can't imagine anyone play... Well, before this, I couldn't imagine anyone playing Dream. Such an incredibly difficult part to play in terms of the physicality of the role, doing so much without saying a lot. But then when he does say stuff, he's so poetic in the way that he talks and ethereal. I just really didn't know how they would pull it off. But now I've seen Tom Sturridge's performance, at least in this first episode, I can't imagine anyone else playing him. It works perfectly. He is ethereal and yet doesn't feel too difficult to connect with. You really get drawn into the mystery that he has. The scenes where he is captured in the glass cage. My guy has got 0% body fat in those scenes. That is, he has got one of the most shredded physiques I've ever seen anyone have. That is absolutely mental. And I am so excited now from that first episode to watch the rest of the series. The little trailer that you get at the end of the first episode for the rest of the season. Like, there's so many great characters that we haven't met yet. I'm so excited to see Jenna Coleman's Joanna Constantine, Gwendoline Christie's Lucifer Morningstar, just to name like two of the characters. John Dee's David Thewlis, that looks like it's going to be insane. A really, really strong first episode that, like the first book of The Sandman does a really good job of getting you in initially and provides you with a kind of simple plot line. Obviously, they've got the Corinthian stuff happening at the same time, which I guess is a little bit more difficult to get a gauge on, but of Morpheus being captured, escaping, and then he's like, okay, I've been gone for so long that so much has happened. Like, the smile on my face when little things happened from the comic book, like when you saw Unity Kincaid asleep and the doll's house in her room, and little things like that, I just thought was so cool. And I am so excited to watch the rest of the series now. Speaking about watching the rest of the series, I'm going to be uploading little TikTok videos over on the account is Parallel Panels. I'm thinking I'm going to do kind of episode breakdowns and recaps in blocks of episodes. I will probably go away and watch another episode and then film like a little reaction to the first two instead of doing it for every single one. But I'm going to try and finish this series in the next week or so, and then get a full review done over on here. So subscribe here, and also go check us out on TikTok. We'll also probably post them up as Instagram reels and stuff like that, so go follow us Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Parallel Panels, and let me know what you guys thought of the Sandman. Have you dived too much into it already? Only the first episode maybe, like myself. And if you haven't checked it out yet, I would seriously recommend it. And of course, if you do enjoy it, go pick yourself up a copy of The Sandman. And that's about it. So I'll see you guys soon for some more Sandman videos in a bit.